Have you ever been taking portraits outdoors, needed to use fill flash, but you wanted to shoot wide open for more shallow depth of field? Flash sync at 1/250th or slower on a sunny day for most cameras will require a smaller aperture, meaning greater depth of field and more distracting backgrounds. High-speed sync might be possible with your flash, but output is greatly reduced using high-speed sync with higher shutter speeds, which limits the range of the flash and thus the possibilities you can use it for. Some external lighting, if used wirelessly, won't sync at higher shutter speeds at all, and then you're stuck with these more distracting backgrounds that you get at higher apertures. Okay, so here I'm trying to get a quick headshot of my son, and you can see that I'm at f2.8, so I have a nice soft out of focus background. I'm not using flash, and my shutter speed is 1/1600th of a second. So I'm able to get that shallow depth of field that I want, but he's backlit, and there's no light in his face, and I really want to light up his face a little bit and get some detail out of it, get some light in his eyes, which is really important for portraiture work. Here, I added an off-camera flash, and it lights up his face nicely, but I'm syncing at 1/250th of a second, and my aperture then closes down to f6.3, which brings that distracting background more into focus than I'd like it to be. By adding a 3-stop neutral density filter to the camera, I'm able to open up my aperture to f2.8 again, and I'm softening the background and making it less distracting, and I'm still able to use the flash on his face to bring that light into his face and get the light in his eyes and really bring him off the background a little bit more. You can see here in the comparison, with no ND filter on the left, the background is sharper. You can make out the cars a little bit more that are in that parking lot back there. And on the right, with the ND3 filter on the camera, I'm able to open up to f2.8, and I've got a much better, much softer background, and he pops off of the page a little bit more. This scene here, it's an outdoor portrait, it's backlit. I don't want my subject squinting into the sun. That's always a problem. You don't want your subject squinting, so I try to turn them away from the sun, but now I'm shooting into the sun, which has me stopping down a little bit, and it also means that I need to get some light into her face somehow. Here I'm at f7.1, I've got a distracting background. It's a little sharper than what I really want it to be because I'm not using flash and I'm stopped down at 1/250th of a second. Now when I add the flash, I'm using a softbox, so high-speed sync becomes less of an option in this case because using the softbox is already going to cut down the distance the flash will travel, and high-speed sync does that even further if I'm using a faster shutter speed. So I opted to use regular sync at 1/250th of a second in the softbox, but now I'm still at f6.3, so the softbox brought me down about a half of a stop. And I still have that distracting background, which is not what I want. I want her to pop off of the background a little bit more and stand out a little bit more. I want that background to be less distracting, specifically that pole on the right by her shoulder there. So by adding a View Scion ND3 filter, I'm able to open up my aperture down to f1.8. If I wanted it a little more stopped down, I could raise my ISO a little bit, but I liked f1.8. It was perfect for me for this shot. I used the flash, I got some light into her face, and the more wide open aperture softens the background and allows my subject to pop off the background very nicely and stand out from the scene while still remaining in context with the rest of the area around her. You can see here in this comparison shot, that pole that was right by her shoulder there now is nice and soft and out of focus and is no longer as distracting as it was in the first shot. So it's a much nicer image, and all I had to do was put the View Scion ND3 filter in front of my camera to give me the shot that I wanted. Here's another set of shots, similar concept. Again, with no flash and no filter, I'm at f8. With the flash, 1/250th of a second, I'm at f8. And again, my background is distracting and I don't really want it that sharp. I want her to stand out from the background a little bit more. So again, I just add the View Scion ND3 filter, put my flash off camera, and I'm opened up to f2.8 now. My background is softer, she stands out more from the background, and it's a much sharper image, much more professional looking, much more finished looking image in my mind. Hopefully these tips will help you think of other unique ways to use your view filters to help you improve your images. I'm Rick Berk, thanks for watching.